Welcome to Marion Matters with Mayor Morrell. We are so glad to have the man himself live with us here in the WSOT TV studio to talk about all things pertaining to the city of Marion. You're watching the very first episode of Marion Matters with Mayor Morrell, and we are glad that you are joining us as well. I'm your host, Angela Stepp, and we're going to jump right into it. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm super excited about this show, and thanks for putting this on.
It's our pleasure, and I'm excited to see where this goes. And I know that there's a lot of things that we have to talk about today. Boy, you are in the middle of your first term as mayor of the city of Marion, Indiana, and you have got some serious momentum going.
Yes, we're rolling. And a lot of the credit goes to my team. They're working so hard. I mean, I have set the vision in place, but everyone within City Hall has really bought in and they're excited. So, and also the City Council as well. Is none of this stuff would be possible without this cohesiveness that's happening between everyone. So I'm super thankful to have a team of both elected officials and employees that are working so hard.
And it shows, it does. Well, let's talk about some of the big things that have been happening recently. Let's start first off with the Clean City 2.0, the Clean City Marion initiative that you have going.
Yeah, so I believe it was about 30 years ago, there was a mayor who started something called Clean City Marion. And as I was coming up with my campaign platform, I began to, study previous things and see, what was going on, what was successful in the city of Marion. And a lot of the complaints that I was receiving when I was going around and talking to community members was that the city was not clean. So I studied these previous things and came up with this idea to have Clean City Marion 2.0. And under this initiative, we have a lot of things that are exciting. But the thing I think that is brings the most hope and the most buy-in from everyone is the citywide clean days. So we had our first one last month, and there were over 200 cars full of trash that just brought stuff from all around the city. And so there's a couple things that are very encouraging about that. One, it was an inner working of 6 different City of Marion departments all working together to pull this off. And then there was over 200 citizens that came in and brought trash from all over the city. So this is showing a sense of community and unitement within the city and within our own workforce. So this is something I'm most excited about. And we'll be having our next one at the end of July, which is July 27th.
Oh, that'll be right around the corner.
Yes. Yeah.
So it sounds like there's a lot of excitement around it to have 200 cars come through for the very first time.
And it was the day in the middle of the rainstorm, the middle of that monsoon we had. So hopefully on this next one we'll have better weather and more people will show up.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about, let's move to blight elimination for just a minute, because I think that's part of the cleanup aspect as well. So the City Council, you were able to get approval from them for $1 million to be able to put towards blight here in the city of Marion. And then today you have a 6 p.m. appointment. Your administration is going to be requesting another $1 million from Grant County Council for that very purpose. And then you also have already submitted with the state of Indiana a request for $1 million for blight elimination. And that's a total, if it all is approved, that would be a total of $3 million that you would have to work with for blight elimination. And I'm curious, you have been stated as saying that it's a benefit not only for Marion, but also for the entire state. And I would just love for you to expand upon that for us.
Yeah, so first, I'm super thankful for our city council and buying in behind this vision. And the purpose of this is when people are traveling into Marion, what are they seeing? We don't want them seeing dilapidated homes, dilapidated former businesses, or 7-foot tall grass, and etc. So these funds are going to go towards eliminating those things, right? So when I'm trying to attract future businesses and future citizens, or even retain current citizens and retain current businesses, the top thing they're always bringing up is the city looks, quite frankly, at this moment, terrible. We're not taking care of our sidewalks. The trash is on the street. The grass is high. Dilapidated homes and buildings are everywhere. So I communicated this message clearly with our city council, and they bought into it, and we were going to invest $1 million into this cleanup. I'll communicate that same message with the county council and saying that, Marion is the county seat, and then how do we look as a county if our county seat is falling apart? So that's the message I'll be able to communicate to the county council. Now, from a state level, the state of Indiana and Eli Lilly actually partnered, and I believe they invested over $250 million into blight elimination in arts for across the whole entire state. And this application was released, I believe, last month. And it's for cities to be able to apply to assist with blight elimination. So we turned the application in, showing that we're already investing ourselves. So we're using our money and our time and our efforts to eliminate this blight, and we're just asking you to come alongside of us. And we're not asking you just to fund something from ground zero. We're more so looking for a partner. And I think with all of these three entities working together, you'll see a massive change in the city of Marion. And that not only helps us to retain and attract new businesses and citizens, but, you know, from a state's perspective, Indiana is in that, you know, this Rust Belt area of, you know, the cities of Anderson, Muncie, obviously Marion, Kokomo, etc., that are heavily affected by the loss of factories and jobs like that. So this is an incentive for the state to get involved with this, because this is a resurrection of towns like ours. So if we can come in with a partnership between the city, the county, and the state to start eliminating these blighted properties, then some of these new industries will be able to be attracted to want to move into cities like ours. And I believe that this is the first initiative to really bring Marion up to a new height and new level. So
it's a basic foundational thing that we need to take care of here in the city before we can expect that growth that we so desire to see happen. Yeah,
you know, just like anything else you do, you have to take care of your foundation and your building block first. Everybody gets excited about the cool stuff and the factories or whatever kind of industry you want to bring in, or the nice and fun things to do. But if we have a broken foundation, I mean, where are we going to go? And right now, our city being clean and eliminating blight is the basic foundation we need to focus on.
Yeah, so true. You know, one of the things that I think that we want to talk about here in just a moment is also the improvements that are being made to local infrastructure.
Yes.
But you know what I think we're going to do is we're going to pause for a really quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to jump into that.
All right, sounds good.
All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Get ready, Marion. WSOT TV proudly presents Marion Matters, featuring Marion Mayor Ronald Morrell Jr. Join us as Mayor Morrell teams up with WSOT TV's own Angela Stepp to bring you exclusive updates straight from Marion. Tune in monthly for a deep dive into Marion's hottest topics, from groundbreaking projects to must-see events. Catch Marion Matters on WSOT TV, broadcast channel 27-1, Spectrum Cable Channel 3, and streaming on YouTube at WSOT-TV.
Welcome back. You are watching Marion Matters with Mayor Morrell, and we are talking all things pertaining to the city of Marion. And right before we paused for a break, we told you that we were going to be talking about some of the infrastructure development. There's a lot of progress being made within Mayor Morrell's administration, and we're going to talk about that right now. Wow, I've got to talk about a record that was just made here. So, Indiana Department of Transportation just awarded the city this year $1.5 million community crossing grant. That is a record amount of money. The city has never received that and from them before in that amount. And that is for the purpose of repairing roadways and pedestrian pathways. Congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you.
That is huge.
Yeah, we have, our team, our city engineer, Mike Graff, is responsible for that grant. He knocked out the park this year.
He did. Yeah. And I understand it's a 50-50 matching grant, right?
Yep.
So $1.5 million, so that would mean that we have to put forth another, so that's $3 million that you have to work with for the 2024 year. And I understand that some very interesting technology was implemented to determine what roads need attention.
Yes, okay, so cover all these. So first, we're very thankful for the state for allowing us to maximize this grant. So there's a lot of things at play at this. First, the city council had to agree to release that amount of funds to be able for us to match this grant at such a high level. Then our in-house engineer, Mike Graff, had to go through the grant cycle process and apply for this maximum level. And then the state had to agree that Marion deserved all of this. And so now we're here with this $3 million. So what's very unique about this, we're doing a lot of streets, but also we're going to do some sidewalks this year as well. So it's going to be just full streets and some repair and some sidewalks. So with this record, we're able to do the most amount of streets the mayor has ever done in one year. So it's very, very exciting. So in the way that we select streets, this has come up often. How do we go about selecting what streets to pave? Because Marion has so many that need help. And
there's a list that we're going to put on the screen right now that people can see.
And so how we get to this list is we have an asset management tool, right? So traditionally what our team would do is go through and hand grade the street. So they would drive every street and get out with their pencil and notepad and grade the condition that street is in based on the potholes or the spider webs cracking or spider web cracking style, or I think they call it alligator crack. Yeah, alligator cracks on the street. Yeah, it can look like the skin of an alligator. Yeah, and so all these things factor into it. And it would take 3 to 4 months to be able to do this asset management grading process. And our streets are graded, from I think it's 0 to 5 scale, and 5 being the worst. And then you can go from there. They turn that in, and then the state come and review what you put in. They actually do a audit and see if you're actually telling the truth about what streets need to be done, etc. Now, this year...
That is so labor intensive.
Very labor intensive, right? And they've been doing it like this forever. And it's a 3 to 4 month process. Now, this year we've invested into a technology that it's an AI form where people, or two of our city employees have cameras hooked to their vehicle. And as they drive, it's doing all the grading and recording of every single street as they drive. So now what originally took our staff 3 to 4 months, they got it done in 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yes.
And the labor process is greatly reduced.
Because as they're driving, the cameras are taking pictures and analyzing and sending it directly back to the computer. So they're no longer writing down things. It's just straight all AI right to the computer.
So artificial intelligence, I believe that you had shared in a press release that it was a German company, Violytics, that was responsible for helping with that. That is cutting edge technology.
It is, and it's beautiful. I mean, so think about this. We were spending man hours of 3 to 4 months, 2 people working. Now the city spent $30,000 on this technology, and it's done in 3 weeks.
That's such a contrast.
Such a tremendous amount of money saved in manpower hours, and what we're doing for the city of Marion now, that extra, 15 weeks, they can do something else,
So, gracious, yes. Yeah. Well, they can probably work on getting the streets paved,
yes,
right? That's great.
Yeah.
So, in terms of streets that needed attention, streets that are getting paved, and the criteria that you were just outlining, let me just ask you to expand a little more. Who made the final decisions on what roads would be treated this year? And was there a specific criteria that was put in place in the process of
So the roads that are graded the worst, they get to go first, and then it goes on from there. So I know everyone is thinking their street is the worst, but really when you start reviewing,
you deal with that pothole or whatever it is.
But when you review the whole city as a whole, there are streets that are worse, right? So we hit the ones that are in the worst condition, in the worst grade, and then what's cool about this is that the city goes through and does asset management, but we also have to send this into the state. And they actually audit and grade to make sure that you're telling the truth. Because if they come through and drive and say, wait a minute, this is not as bad as what you said it is, then we have risk of losing the grant.
And we don't want to do that.
We don't want to do that, right? So we have to tell the truth on the application and make sure we're grading appropriately to the state standards.
Right. And so I would imagine then by using the AI technology, then you've got all of the documentation that you need right there at your fingertips, right? So easy to show the state, look, this is exactly what we found.
And camera proof, because it's taking the pictures and showing what it actually looks like.
I can imagine that there are going to be other communities that are going to be looking at Marion as an example and wanting to adopt this same technology.
100%, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's jump then over. We're talking streets, but let's talk a little bit about streets, but let's talk public safety a little bit as well. And one of the things that you did early on in your administration was to tackle the missing street signs or the damaged or need of replacement street signs that are throughout the city. And you created a citizen reporting task force for that, and now you have some new street signs.
We do, yes. So now this is an issue that is it's multifaceted, right? So first, it looks bad. It looks bad if you're driving around the city and street signs are missing.
Hard to navigate.
Yeah, it's hard to navigate, and then so you bring guests into the city of Marion, and I mean everybody has GPSs, but you're still double checking yourself when you look on the street signs, and if they're all missing, where do we go, where do we turn, etc. And it just shows that it connects back to our Clean City Mayor initiative that if these are replaced, it looks like we're taking care of our own stuff. And then one thing that I didn't realize when I first was pushing for the street sign thing is how big of a public safety issue it is. So on my first day in office, I got to ride along with the police, and we went to a call, an emergency. So we started on the bypass, and our police have the in-ear headset. So I seen them get excited, and we jumped in the car and just flying. I have no idea what's going on because I can't hear. Right. So we're going 100 miles an hour down the bypass, and we're turning, and the place that we're going doesn't have a street sign. So we end up circling the block 3 or 4 times and turning each and every way and finally get to where we're going. By the time we get there, there's a fight breaking out. They have to jump out and break up the fight, etc. So now, if we would have had that street sign, we could have been there maybe 4 or 5 seconds earlier and prevented that fight from going that way. Right. So that's one way. Now, from an EMT ambulance perspective, they're going full blast somewhere to save somebody's life, and they get there, where are the street signs? They don't have time to type in GPS.
Seconds matter.
Yes, seconds matter. So not only is the street signs a beautification thing that I like to do, but this is the public safety and life and death for some people in certain situations.
So important. And it makes sense for that to be one of those top priorities that you tackled right off the bat at the beginning of your administration. So now you have new street signs. In fact, we've got an image of some of those street signs. Are they in the process of being installed? How many? Do you have a progress update on that?
Yes. So we have thousands of street signs. So this is going to. So we actually did order all new ones. So it's going to take the team about a year and a half to actually make it through the whole entire city and replace every single one of them. But so they're working on it now, and they're just doing. There's one person. She's great, Rhonda, and she goes around. Her sole job is to take care of street signs and stoplights and all those kind of things. And she's doing a great job at that. Yeah.
Excellent. And we had a privilege of visiting her a while back. For another program that we did, and we got a little sneak peek of the behind-the-scenes work that's involved with the street signs. It's laborious.
It's a lot.
It is. It's a diligent, good person to be in charge there. Another thing in terms of public safety, Marion Police Department has really been putting the effort into recruiting lately. And I'm sure that viewers, citizens, that they have seen the billboard campaign that's going around town. Would you like to share with us a little bit about what some of the key aspects of public safety are that you are focusing on? Yeah, so for us, our chief and his team is focusing on recruitment and retainment. So through the years, Marion hasn't been competitive naturally in salaries for our police. So we're losing them to other communities and even the state police. So what we're working on is, first of all, trying to get the salaries up, but also in the meantime, how do we make Marion a destination police department as opposed to a place that people leave? So they're being very active on social media. They're doing the billboard campaigns. They're creating a sense of community within our police department, which is actually helping them hire new people. I think the last number I heard is they've hired 8 new officers. Wow. And then so, we started off this year down a deficit of only having 45 police officers. Now, there was a time in Marion where we had in the 70s. And currently right now we're budgeted for 60, but we're only able to hire 45. And since taking over in this first 6 months, our team, led by Chief Gilbert, has hired 8 to 9 new officers. So the recruiting efforts are definitely paying off.
It's working tremendous. Yep, they're doing a great job.
And I appreciate very much what you were just saying about making Marion Police Department a destination. Yeah. In an unofficial capacity, I'm aware of in past years that a lot of the training that was being put into our officers, which Marion Police Department training is second to none, right? Right. And so there were a lot of municipalities that I'm aware of that were wooing away our officers, right? Yes. And so here, Marion would be bringing in these great recruits, and they would train them up and get them prepared, and then we would not get to keep them. Yeah, so,
and that to me, that's not acceptable, right? We want to be the department that people want to leave and come to, as opposed to leave and go somewhere else. So that's what we're working towards building, and the team is doing a great job of making that a reality.
Yeah, I think that gives a lot of people a good peace of mind to know that is something that is a priority. Yes. Well, another priority is the realm of economic development, and you've had some great developments happening. Yes. And we need to pause for a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about that.
All right, sounds good.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Get ready, Marion. WSOT TV proudly presents Marion Matters featuring Marion Mayor Ronald Morrell Jr. Join us as Mayor Morrell teams up with WSOT TV's own Angela Stepp to bring you exclusive updates straight from Marion. Tune in monthly for a deep dive into Marion's hottest topics, from groundbreaking projects to must-see events. Catch Marion Matters on WSOT TV, broadcast channel 27-1, Spectrum Cable Channel 3, and streaming on YouTube at WSOT-TV.
Welcome back to Marion Matters with Mayor Morrell, and we are going to talk about economic development within the city of Marion. Mayor, wow, a big groundbreaking ceremony for a new location, a second location in the city of Marion for, wait for it, Starbucks?
Yes.
Anybody that loves their coffee or their refreshers or anything, or their treats, I know that made a lot of people happy.
Yeah.
Location for that is 1005 Baldwin Avenue, and that is a very exciting thing.
Yeah, it's encouraging for multiple reasons. One, anytime a business expands in Marion, I'm excited, you know.
Yeah.
And that Starbucks is one of the top producing in the region, so it was justifiable that they needed another location. Second, the north side of Marion has been struggling for some time now. And so for a business to see that it's worthwhile to invest and expand that direction, it's huge for the city. And then lastly, that it builds momentum, right? So if people are saying, oh, wow, Starbucks built another location in that direction, then this is going to incite and ignite others to be able to want to start investing in the north side of Marion, Indiana. So it's this threefold thing that I'm very excited about, that is bringing new hope and new energy to this side of town.
I think a number of people will be very pleased to know that you have your sights set on revitalizing the north side of town as well. Talk to me a little bit about another big development in the downtown area. That's the riverfront district that is going to be, we were just talking Starbucks, so you have your food and drinks, restaurants and whatnot.
Yeah. So with this riverfront district is an economic development tool to be able to attract high density into the downtown corridor, right? So the state legislature allowed for this a few years back, to where if you have a river running through your town, so obviously we do, the Mississippi Wall, you can create this riverfront district, and it's really hyper-focused on attracting restaurants and establishments in your downtown area. So with the establishment of this creates a whole new avenue for us to be able to attract more restaurants within our downtown district and create a sense of dense population where people are involved in walking, and that's the goal behind this.
And I think that it's going to enhance the arts and culture of our community as well. So I'm very excited about that. There's another thing that I have to point out, is that you seem to have a great way of networking with other local leadership. There's a fun example on your social media post of a kind of a back and forth banter with the mayor of Gas City, Indiana, regarding the Independence Day celebration. That was so fun. But I want to know, how important do you see it being for you to connect with other community leadership?
Yeah, the one thing that I've learned is, there's no sense in trying to do this on the island all by yourselves. Even the riverfront district and other economic development and clean city stuff, other cities have already done this. So now, if I can expand my horizon and expand my network, I'll be able to learn from other leaders to be able to bring the good things that they've done back to the city of Marion. I think oftentimes as leaders, we isolate ourselves, and then you're trying to spin stuff and you're on an island and you get nothing done. But if you can learn from others who are successful in that space, it makes the road a lot less challenging for yourself.
Yeah. I mentioned early when we started this program about the momentum. And boy, as we've been talking, I think that has become very apparent to everyone. There is a lot of momentum that you've been able to generate in the first half of the first year as your term in Mayor of Marion. And I want to know, do you feel like that you have found your stride yet? And can you give us a little sneak peek about maybe where we're going?
I'm still I still don't think we hit our stride yet. I think we're still finding out stuff, and then I think this whole first year is going to be a learning curve, right? So we're still learning and getting things in place, and I still have to function off of the previous administration's budget, right? So I still don't have control of any of the finances, truthfully, yet. So by year 2, we'll really be running it in the stride. So in the future, I think that we can keep looking forward to more development announcements, more initiatives around keeping things clean, and also some more initiatives around developing things specifically for the next generation and children.
Well, Mayor Morrell, we are so delighted that you have taken the time out of your incredibly busy schedule, keeping things rolling, to come here and share with us some of that positive progress that's happening within the city of Marion. Congratulations to you for all of the wins that you've had so far, and we look forward to being able to spotlight some more of that progress on future episodes of Marion Matters with Mayor Morrell.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's been a joy. And thank you so much for joining us here today on Marion Matters with Mayor Morrell. And we hope that you will join us again next time. Make sure to find us on YouTube.